I think we'll take a 10 or 15 minute break, and then we'll come back and you can have questions, and we'll do that for a little while. Thanks very, very much. Now I'm happy to take questions. Here.
You spoke about science being in the realm of the ego and art and shamanism being in some other realm that you declined to name. My own psychedelic experience convinced me of the existence of that other realm, but I felt not enough sense of personal power to be that antenna that you're saying that artists can be, for bringing that other, until I became convinced of the existence not only of me within that other realm, but that other realm within me. And perhaps the psychedelic experience prepared me for that second awareness, but perhaps you could comment on how, if possible, that second awareness could become more easily accessible in the psychedelic experience.
What do you mean by the second awareness? Say a little more about it.
Of being aware that that other realm is something that's also very personal and...
Well, yes, I mean, it seems it's a landscape that begins within the self and seems to extend into the world. I mean, one of the very puzzling things about the psychedelic experience is that it argues that we are not atomic individuals running around in some kind of society, but that if you actually drain the psychic water away, you'll discover that we're all connected at the roots, that it isn't a journey to another world, it's a journey inward to a world that is already present and there. The astonishing thing is how alienated we are from our own interior, from the interior world, to the point where we can hardly recognize it. I mean, I've talked a lot about the alien nature of the psychedelic experience and how it seems to be mappable over something as radical as the UFO experience. This is because we truly do not know who we are. The past 10,000 years have been so disempowering to us. We are really like the children of a dysfunctional relationship. We don't know where we have come from. It's very hard for us to emotionally connect with the consequences of what we're doing. I mean, that really horrifies me, that this is a society that loots the future. I mean, the symbol of that is devouring of children. We literally, for our own comfort in the present moment, are making it very difficult for future generations to contemplate having anything approaching the level of resource availability that we have. And this kind of situation could not be tolerated if we had not gone through a tremendous series of traumatic, emotionally disemboweling experiences. You know, the Native Americans have a litmus test for all activity. Does it serve the children? And so much of what we do is so anti-future that it's almost as though the fundamentalist position exists to permit the destruction of the environment. I mean, this was perfectly encapsulated by this clown James Watt, who was Secretary of the Interior and said, we don't need to expand the national parks because Jesus is coming. I mean, this is a mentality so against the grain of the obvious that it has to be looked upon as pathological. Another question. here in the corner.
Hello, Terence.
How are you?
I've known you for a long time, but you've never met me. I'm one of Roy's night people. And I guess I got to preface this remark in saying that I got about a $50,000 education and 3 degrees, college degrees in psychology, but I've never learned anything like I've learned from listening to Roy's show on KPOK. In pursuing those degrees, I decided to learn a little bit about it hands-on, so I went to work in a new institution. So it's my misfortune, actually, to be earning my survival at this time by working in that capacity. I would like to see psychology take a different direction, and I know that what you're talking about provides a focus and a direction for psychology to take, which I think would blow the lid off of things, so we would really get close to, I'm in total agreement that Freud and Jung discovered the psychonscious about 100 years ago, but they discovered it at 900 yards with a spyglass, as you said in Santa Fe. How do we get closer to this in this kind of society? That's the first part of this question. And the second part of this question, I'm a little bit nervous speaking in front of all these people, but the second part of this question has to do with a study that you spoke of in '72, where with single-dose administration of LSD, alcoholics were achieving a 72% success rate. And I would like you to speak a little bit on the pro-psychedelic approach being an anti-drug approach.
Yes, well, thank you for giving me the opportunity to make the point, because in the present atmosphere of hysteria and misinformation, this is too easily run over. It is important to make the distinction that what has happened really is that the well of language on this issue of consciousness alteration, the well of language has been poisoned, where you cannot make any sense if you use the words that have been granted us to use. I mean, let's take the word drug. You know, we have a drug war, but as I drove into town, I noticed a drug store. Well, it's that we, you know, with that compressed vocabulary, you can't make any sense at all of what's going on. So I think what we have to do is make an operational argument about drugs and say, you know, what is it that society finds offensive about drug abuse? And then what does that have to do with psychedelics? Well, my own analysis of this is that what is offensive about drug abuse is a unconscious, repetitious, and demonstrably destructive pattern of behavior. And whenever you see someone behaving that way, everyone feels repulsed and brought down. And in fact, severe drug addictions are like this. But as a matter of record, this is what psychedelics make absolutely impossible. Number one, the notion of unexamined behavior. How can you have unexamined behavior if you take psychedelics? It holds you up into a blast furnace of self-reflection. It does not promote repetitious drug use. I mean, I consider myself a great fan of psilocybin, and if I can screw my courage to the sticking point a couple of times a year, I'm doing all right. I know someone who says DMT is their favorite substance. And when I asked them, when was the last time you did it, they said 1968. And it lasted 3 minutes. This is not a pattern of drug abuse, you see.